All right, greetings and hello to everyone. Welcome to tonight's presentation. Tonight, we're going to talk about how to amplify your leadership message with a podcast. And I'm going to be your workshop presenter, Tony Coleman-Brown. So why are you guys here tonight? Most of you are here because you are very much interested in starting a podcast. Some of you may have tried to start a podcast in the past and were a little bit afraid. You may have started with it, but abandoned it for some reason. But I'm going to tell you that tonight, all of that is going to change because you're going to learn exactly what it takes to launch, plan, and create an awesome podcast. So tonight, what we're going to cover is a little bit about me. I'm going to talk a little bit about my podcasting story, the benefits of podcasting, the podcasting process, how to come up with show ideas, what type of equipment you should use, what you should do to schedule your guests, everything you need to know as it relates to editing your podcast, promoting your show. And then at the very end, I'm going to discuss my new course that I have out, Impact Podcast Academy. And I'm sure that you're going to enjoy hearing about that. So who am I? I'm Tony Coleman-Brown, and I'm considered to be a marketing expert. Back in about 1998, I helped Doubleday Direct launch Black Expressions Book Club. Now, Black Expressions Book Club was one of Doubleday's most successful book club launches in the history of that company. When it launched with $25 million in sales, and I was responsible for giving the club its name, giving it its tagline, getting connected through books. I also created a content calendar, and I scheduled monthly promotions. And that was a long time ago. And to think about marketing then and marketing now, it's really two different things. But when I was working on Black Expressions Book Club and working with Doubleday Direct, I truly learned the power of niching down. And that's going to be a very important part of learning how to set up your podcast. Because when you launch your podcast, you're going to want to launch in a specific niche. That's going to be very important for you. But even after all of the success that I had with launching Black Expressions Book Club, I couldn't believe that one day I actually came in and about 50 of us got laid off. And that day it wasn't such a bad day for me because I had a couple of other things going on, but it was a sad day for a lot of people that were truly dependent upon that job. Now, here's why you're going to learn why it wasn't a success. It wasn't so sad for me. It was truly actually a layoff that paid off, because after I got laid off that job, I actually went on to really grow my own home-based business. I was working with a company called Warm Spirit at the time. And because I was able to get the job out of the way, I was able to focus on my home-based business. And I ended up growing my home-based business to a 5-figure monthly income. And I did this by teaching all of the people that were on my team everything that I knew. And one of the things that I was doing to successfully grow my business at the time was pay-per-click advertising. I actually was advertising on Google, and I was teaching my team members how to do some of the things that I was doing. I was teaching them how to create lead capture pages. And this was a while ago, but I was self-taught in the area of internet marketing, and I actually utilized those skills to be able to have a layoff that paid off and grow a very successful home-based business. I was really proud of that. But yet again, there was a rift in the company, and the company ended up shutting down. And that was the end of my home-based business experience with that particular company. I ended up consulting, and then I launched the Network for Women in Business. And I have to tell you that everything changed for me once I launched this business. I really found my legs in the home-based business industry. I always knew that I was a teacher at heart and I loved training. And the Network for Women in Business allowed me to train, connect, and advance other women entrepreneurs. And out of the Network for Women in Business, I was able to birth beautiful and wonderful events like my online marketing mastermind live event and my small business bootcamp for women. I have been able to educate thousands of people, and I also have been able to help almost 100 people become best-selling authors because of the book launches that I actually did. And it has been just amazing ever since. I've been teaching and training and coaching people. And one of the things, if you know me, but if you don't know me, you'll know that I just love to create and I love to help people. One of my main missions in life is to positively impact the lives of 10 million people over the next 10 years. And I hope that if you're on this webinar tonight, that you could be one of the people that I help to impact over the next 10 years. And, you know, one of the things that I discovered as I've been launching and creating products, because I've been launching and creating products ever since I was a part of my home-based business. I mean, I taught my team members how to generate leads online, but one of the first courses that I launched was back in the day an ebook and an online program called Get MLM Prospects Online. So I taught not only my team members, but I taught other people how to do exactly what I was doing as it related to generating leads online. But I discovered a formula and really a framework for launching and creating products. And that was it's called Focus, Finish, Promote, and Profit. So basically what I do is kind of like F2, which is the focus and the finish, and then I add the promotions, and that generates the profit. And this formula that I've been using for all of these years has helped me to successfully launch my very own podcast. And everything that I've learned, I'm going to talk about a lot of that tonight. I actually fell in love with podcasting. I am of the mindset that if you're an entrepreneur, a thought leader, or someone who just has a message that you know that you want to deliver to the world, that you need to practice the art of you being everywhere. Since the internet has been created, it really changed the game for all of us. It gave us all an opportunity to be everywhere and to be on multiple platforms and allow people to actually find us and find our message. But I have to tell you that podcasting is just taking it to a whole new level. Podcasting is like another form of being social and being present online. Now, I launched my podcast, and so far I've had over 500 downloads with only 24 episodes. And I'm just really getting started with my podcast, but I've had a lot of success. Because of the fact that I have my podcast, I've been able to actually create workshops and present this type of material to other people. And like I said, I've had a lot of people come to me and ask me, can you help me start my podcast? And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create this webinar, to show people some of the tips and tricks, as well as create the course so that you can understand just a little bit more and go a little bit deeper as it relates to creating a podcast. So I just want you to know what a podcast can do for you, because I truly believe that a lot of people are sleeping on podcasts, because you can truly build a better relationship with your audience. You can increase your traffic generation, because when you're podcasting, you can tell people to visit your website all throughout the podcast. If you're actually launching a new event or you're launching a new course, you can promote that course and you can promote that event all throughout your podcast. And that's something that gives you a new level to expand your message and a new way to level up and increase your audience and expand your reach. It also helps you to improve your public speaking skills. If you ask any podcaster today, how was their first show, and they will absolutely tell you that it was horrible. If you go back and look at all of your first episodes or all of the first episodes of some of the people who are podcasting today, they will tell you that they've come a long way. And that's what happens when you podcast. You just have to jump right out in there and really get it going. But it does help you to improve your public speaking skills. You also can increase your product sales, and you can build authority. It also helps you to increase your speaking opportunities, and podcasts allows you to have a new form of revenue. A lot of people don't look at it this way, but when you think about it, when you're podcasting, it opens you up to the potential of getting new book deals, new speaking engagements, new email subscribers, new sales. Also, it opens you up for advertisers, because as you grow your podcast, you're going to be able to get advertisers that are going to want to advertise on your platform. And I've had people like Template Monster and a couple of other advertisers reach out to me and ask me to just record an advertisement about Template Monster and include it in my podcast. And basically the way a lot of it works is when people come and they utilize your discount code, that's how you're able to generate affiliate income. Podcasting is almost like the new form of blogging. And you can rest assured that your ideal customers and clients are definitely listening to podcasts. Now, why podcast now? Think about it. iTunes has over 800 million subscribers. That's a big potential new audience. And for somebody like me who's hoping to positively impact the lives of 10 million people over the next 10 years, well, you can clearly see 10 million of those people are probably on iTunes. Now, right now, there are only 700,000 podcasts that exist in 2019 right now. Now, many of you may be thinking, 700,000, that's a lot. But when you compare it to over 2 billion websites, then I have to tell you, it's not too late. You're actually at the right place and at the right time, because podcasting is just starting to enter its growth phase. Podcasting are becoming available in brand new cars. It's an easy way for people to connect. You also have new platforms that are accepting podcasts all the time, like iHeartRadio. Spotify just opened up for new podcasters. Also, Pandora just opened up for podcasters, and that's huge. So podcasting is a powerful way for you to share your thoughts as a leader, for you to create a tribe or build a new one. It's easy to share, podcasts are, and it also allows you to get international exposure, which is huge. Now, people are consuming podcasts in multiple ways. They're consuming podcasts while they're commuting. They're listening to podcasts while they work out, and they're also listening to podcasts in their car. Podcasting is just a form of content marketing, guys. It's the only content that can be consumed in a way that people, when they're on the go, they can look at it. I mean, they can listen to it. It's not like texting while driving. They can listen while driving, and then they can listen for long periods of time. Imagine being able to capture the attention of your audience for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour or 2 hours. But it's the only kind of content that really has the impact to create that level of intimacy, that level of know, like, and trust with your customers and potential clients that truly creates an impact. So podcasting is huge. And, I encourage you, if you're thinking about it, you definitely want to do it. Now, this in general is the podcasting process. It works a little bit like this. So it's going to start with you in the planning phase. And that's where you're going to plan your ideas, plan the title of your podcast, and, really create the content for your first 5 to 10 shows. Then you're going to want to record your episodes. You may want to record them in batches to make things a lot easier for you. Then you're going to want to edit it, and you can edit it yourself or you can have somebody else edit it. It's completely up to you. Then you're going to want to launch it, and then you're going to promote it and profit from it. So let's just dig a little bit deeper into all of these different areas. Brainstorming ideas for your show. You're going to want to think about what topics are you going to discuss and what will be the length of your show. Now, I thought that podcast had to be long because a lot of the podcasts that I listened to were long. And then I found some podcasts that were only like 10 to 12 minutes long for each episode. And those were really good as well, because when you are an educator and you're educating people on a specific topic, then what you may want to do is just give it to people in bite-sized pieces. So your podcast can be 5 minutes long, 15 minutes long, or 30 minutes long. And, there are other things that you can do with your podcast. Like if you have a live event, you may record the live event and you may want to show or upload a part of your live event as one of your shows. That's, one of the multitude of things you can do with a podcast. But you're going to want to figure out what format you're going to have. Is it going to be a talking head podcast where it's just you? Or will it be interview style where it's you and your guests? Or will it be a mixed mode podcast? Or it could be both. It could be all of those things. It's truly up to you. Then you're going to want to think about your topic. And what you're going to want to do for sure is niche down. And you don't want to just go to the top, the broad niche. You want to go down to a sub niche so that you really lean into your ideal clients and customers. So basically, if you want to start a podcast about dogs, you don't want it just to be the dog show. Maybe you want to drill down to a specific type of dog, like a bulldog. But then you may want to drill down to a type of bulldog, maybe a blue-nosed bulldog. Or you might want to go a little bit deeper and talk about blue-nosed bulldog puppies. Now, it's very interesting because you may want to start a podcast about this, but you may also want to start a podcast about something else. One of the things you're going to find out is that you can create multiple podcasts, and that's okay. Just like a lot of people have multiple websites, it's very much okay to have multiple podcasts. And what you're going to want to do before you launch your topic is you're going to want to do research to make sure that whatever niche you decide to go into, that it's a hot niche. And what I do in the course is I teach you how to use Facebook to find your hot niches, because the way we do research on Facebook to find a hot niche, you'll research for a specific topic and you'll see if there are groups, if there are pages, and if there are people that are in that topic that are talking. If you see viral posts and people having a lot of conversation around a specific topic, then you know that that is a hot topic and it's something that you may want to look into. Now, equipment. Equipment is a huge part of podcasting. And you may want to spend a good bit of time thinking about what type of equipment you're going to get, but don't spend too much time on it, because what's going to happen is you're going to get into all of the analysis aspect of it, and then what's going to end up happening is it's going to slow you down. Now, the most important thing you're going to need is a microphone. And then everybody talks about the Blue Yeti microphone. And yeah, it is a great microphone. But you don't have to spend a lot of money on a microphone just to start. You can get a Fee-Fi microphone, and it will work just as well. But you're going to need a good computer or laptop because you're going to want to render your audio, and that may take a little bit of time. So you're going to want to have a good laptop that's not like crank, 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 and it takes a long time for it to render. So you want that process to move a little fast. And then you're going to have to figure out where you're going to host it, what platform. Are you going to use Anchor? Are you going to use Podbean? There's a bunch of different platforms that you can choose from. And you're going to have to choose your artwork. You're going to have to choose the editing software. I pretty much use Camtasia because I love Camtasia, but there's Audacity, and that's for free, and you can use that. I have to tell you that if you're just starting podcasting and you want to bootstrap it, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get started, but you can start somewhere and graduate towards an area that you're more comfortable with. Or if you want to take your podcast to the next level and create a whole huge podcasting studio with tons and thousands of dollars worth of equipment, you can do that, but it's absolutely not necessary. All you really truly need to start is a good microphone. And with Anchor, believe it or not, you can podcast from your phone because Anchor is an app, and you can utilize that to podcast directly using your mobile phone. There's so many things that you can do right now with podcasting until it's just not even funny. And with the editing that you can do with the editing equipment that's around now, and the software, it doesn't have to be that difficult. So a good mic, a good laptop, you can use Canva, or you can hire someone to create your artwork. That's up to you, but that's all you really need. Editing software, good laptop, good microphone, some artwork, and good editing software, and a good platform for you to host your podcast. Now, some of the things that you're also going to need is maybe an intro and an outro. You may want to pick some music. A lot of people have questions about music. What type of music can I use? Do I have to give credit to the music that I decide to use? Well, I have to tell you that there's lots and lots of royalty-free music out there that you can use that you don't have to pay for. And some people have intros and outros. You can go to some websites like Fiverr.com and get someone to create an intro and outro for you that's relatively inexpensive. Now, once you get your music, it's okay to change things around. You might want to add some sound effects for different things. So for example, you might want to include trivia in your podcast. And if you are including trivia, you may want to go to YouTube and download some of the Jeopardy music. And, you can get that do 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 do, and you can incorporate that into your podcast. So you want to make your podcast fun. One of the other things that you want to do is you want to record in segments, because you may have a podcast that's very entertaining. It could be a lifestyle podcast. One of your segments could be about latest gossip or latest news, and you want to incorporate that into your podcast. You may have a segment that's the question of the day. You may have a segment that's, if you're interviewing people, that's your rapid fire interview segment, where you ask them 5 questions that they have to answer really quickly, the first thing that comes to the top of their head. And what you might want to do is batch record and batch editing, and then schedule your podcast to go out. Because if you're think about it, if you are doing a show and it's a 15-minute show or a 20-minute show, you can record 3 shows in an hour. 3 shows in an hour. If it's 15 minutes, you can record 4 shows in an hour. And once you have your segments recorded, you can record segments all together and then just incorporate them into your shows through your editing process. There's so much that you can do to make this process easier, and these are just a few ideas. Now, other things that you can do to make your show fun and exciting and forward moving, because you're going to want to keep your podcast moving along. You could have segments that are giveaways. You may want to give away your book. If you have your book, you may want to give away a prize for someone that leaves a rating and a review of your podcast. You may want to have a promo that allows people, anybody who subscribes and they say that they've subscribed or they leave a review for your podcast, you may want to have a special promotion for them. You may have quizzes. You may have a bunch of things that could make your show fun and exciting. You just have to be creative at that point. Now, if you have or are deciding to have a podcast where you are scheduling guests, one of the things that you're going to want to do is schedule your guests in advance. And then you may want to batch your interviews together. You can use software like Skype or Zoom. Zoom is relatively easy. And what I love about Zoom is the fact that you can once you render your shows on Zoom, what happens is that your show it comes to you as an MP4 or it comes to you as an MP3, and you can use the MP3 file that comes directly from Zoom. If you have an interview with a guest and the interview goes pretty long, some of the things that you can do is edit it, and you can have your show into parts. You can have interview with Tony Coleman-Brown part 1, interview with Tony Coleman-Brown part 2, if it goes for a long period of time. And then if you are doing a show where you are scheduling guests, I encourage you to reach out to anyone that you're interested in interviewing, even if you're afraid. If you want somebody like Amy Porterfield to come on your show, reach out and ask her to come on your show. You would be very surprised. Now, she may ask you questions like, how many downloads do you have? How many subscribers do you have? And things like that. But once you have all of their questions answered, you'll be surprised how many people will say yes. So don't be afraid to reach out to those people that are on your chicken list. And then you want to brainstorm your dream list of people that you're interested in interviewing and just begin to reach out to them and create a calendar. Use a calendar like Calendly so that you can schedule all of this on a calendar and be very organized. If you're scheduling guests, one of the things that I might encourage you to do is get a virtual assistant, because with a virtual assistant, what will happen is that they will be able to help you with staying organized and on top of all of this. So if you are dealing with someone, guests, and you're interviewing guests, what I encourage you to do is definitely reach out to people that have a bigger audience than you, because this is going to help you grow your podcast. Because once you do the recording, they can share it out to their people and you can share it out to your people, and that's the way your audience will grow. Now, when it comes down to launching your podcast, you want to make sure that you have recorded and edited at least 3 to 5 shows, and you want to launch your podcast with at least 3 to 5 episodes, and then have at least 5 more waiting in the queue. So you want to make sure that you have about 10 episodes. I encourage you to put together an editorial calendar where you know in advance exactly what you want to talk about, exactly what topics you want to cover, and all of that. Just have it done, have it laid out so that when it comes down to recording, you are ready to go soon as you hit the record button. And then what you're going to want to do is make sure that you submit your podcast to multiple directories, and that this is Very easy to do because you're going to get a little line of HTML, which is really a link, and that's your RSS feed, and you're going to submit that to various different podcasting directories. And every time you add on a new podcasting directory, what you're going to find is that your downloads and everything is going to increase. And then you're going to want to make sure that you're announcing this to your audience, and you want to push it out across social media. And there's lots of little softwares that will allow you to take and create a snippet of your show so that you can easily promote it across social media and give people teaser content from the podcast so that they'll be encouraged to listen. And that's pretty cool. But one of the most important things that you're going to want to do is stay consistent. Now, when it comes down to promoting your show, you want to email your list if you have a list. You want to make sure you're broadcasting it across all of your social media in Facebook groups, and you want to make sure that your audience grows so that you can begin to get sponsors and people coming to you. Now, that's the importance of having a niche, because if you have it niched down to a specific topic, then it'll be so much easier for you to find Facebook groups and all of that where you can promote your show. And then you can run ads too and really get the word out about your show. Now, I'm sure your wheels are turning right now. And I know that that was a lot of content, and it was good information that you can definitely use. By now, you're probably thinking, you know what? I can do this. But you might have some questions. And you might also be thinking, I sure wish that I have somebody that could help me step by step through this process. And I want to let you know that you're in luck, because now I have the Impact Podcast Academy. And this is a new course for beginners that are seeking someone to guide them step by step through the process of podcasting. And it has over 20 guided videos and more. Because even after all of this good content, I'm sure you're going to want to have someone to help you step by step along the way. And that's where I come in, because the videos take you step by step through each one of these processes of planning, recording, editing, launching, and promoting your show. Plus, you'll learn how to create targeted episodes so that your podcast can, scale up and get found by other people. Plus, you're going to get group coaching, because we have a private Facebook group, and that's going to allow you to get any of your questions answered, any feedback that you have, and more. And then you're going to be having access to our podcasting network. Now, it's important to be a part of a podcasting network, because that's when you have a group of podcasters that can help you get more downloads, more ratings, and more reviews. And also, if you're podcasting about the same things, what we can do as a network is have podcasting swaps. So basically, you can run a podcast that would be good for my audience, and I could run one of your podcasts, which could be, good for, or vice versa. You run a podcast and I'll run it on my audience, and I'll run a podcast and you can run it in your audience. And what that does is, you could just record a little intro, and that's allowing both of the people to have a bigger reach. So we could do fun things like that. And then you'll have access to the affiliate program, because as an affiliate of Impact Podcast Academy, you can actually promote it to other people and earn a 30% income off the course. Plus, there's bonuses. I'm going to give you 3 months of free access to the Network for Women in Business. And the Network for Women in Business has a small business university. And what it has is a ton of courses, marketing courses on Instagram, Facebook marketing, how to use your intellectual property to make money, and a host of other things. But first and foremost, it has my signature course, which is the Focus, Finish, Promote, and Profit System. And you'll have access to that for 3 months. And then all of the fast action takers will get a discount because the course right now is $197, but it's going to be going up. It's going to double at the end of this month. So you'll have access to it now. Now, some of you here know me, some of you here don't know me, and you might be thinking, oh God, this sounds great, but how can I trust Tony to deliver on her promise? I just want you to know that I always under promise and over deliver. I always give and give and give some more. And I just wanted to show you what some other people have had to say about me. This is when I actually did a coaching marathon. And this woman had to say that she had a great conversation with me, lots of positive energy. And after talking to me for 25 minutes, she was able to get 2 pages of notes and tips. So she was really excited. And then this other woman that I did a coaching call with, she said the same thing, that she got so many tips and so many insights that implementing all of it was going to keep her really busy. So she's really excited. And then this is someone that I've worked with. I've done coaching with her and Chicola. And one of the things that she basically talked about is just copywriting, because when you create your podcast, it's going to be very important with regards to how you title your podcast. And I am going to work with you really hard so that you pick the right title that's going to help drive customers and clients and people to your podcast. But this is Chicola talking about the work that I did with her and copy and, helping her with her copy, because her copy was a little bit off and wasn't attracting the right customers. And after I worked with her, it made a big difference. Now, this is a woman who attended my small business boot camp back in 2015. And I have to tell you that her experience at the boot camp was absolutely amazing. She had a cleaning business. And while she was there, not only was she able to get great information about how to grow her business, but she also was able to get financing from one of our sponsors, the Intersect Fund, to help her get all of the materials and equipment that she needed to take her cleaning business to the next level. And then this is some feedback from one of my very first boot camps, which was all about social media. And I created a social media mastery course. And that was absolutely amazing. A lot of people enjoyed it. And they also enjoyed the course that I had that went along with that. So you might be a little bit scared and you might be a little bit nervous. You might be a little bit insecure. You might feel like, you know what, Tony, I don't know. I don't think I can do this. But I can tell you that when you work with me, you will be able to share your message around the world. You'll be able to begin to capture new customers. You'll be able to grow as a speaker, and you will be able to do all of this with a new podcast. So I am going to invite you to get started with me. And whether you get started with me or not, you can go to impactpodcastacademy.com. I'm going to drop the link in this in the chat box so you guys can have it. But you can go to impactpodcastacademy.com and get access to the course. But I have to tell you guys, whether you decide to work with me or you decide not to work with me, I truly, truly wish you good luck and happy podcasting. So what I want to do right now is I want to jump in the chat, and I want to be able to show you guys, give you guys the exact link for you to go ahead and get the course. So I'm going to type it in here, and then I'm going to open it up and see if you guys have any questions, because some of the questions that people have oftentimes is, you know what, how long will I have access to the course? Well, you're going to have lifetime access to the course. lifetime access to the Facebook group, that I will be jumping in, that I will be working with you, doing group coaching. You'll have the ability to ask me any questions. We can work as a group. We can work one-on-one. When you work in the Facebook group, you'll be able to, throw out your ideas. You'll be able to get feedback on the naming of your show, whether or not it's a good name. And we'll all be working together to make sure that you are on the right track, that all of your messaging is in alignment, and that you have everything that you need to truly succeed in podcasting. Also, when you launch your first episodes, you'll be able to post those episodes in the group. And what we'll do is take you step by step through the process of finding the right platform, which there are 2 that I recommend. And I have guided videos that show you exactly how to upload and how to record directly into some of the apps and some of the platforms. And a lot of the platforms will automatically promote your podcast to multiple directories. And so you'll have that as well. A lot of people also want to know, will the course change? Well, the course will always be updated, but you will always have access to it. I am working with a new platform, and it's a membership platform, and it will allow you to give you your own login that will be specific and unique to you. And it will allow you the ability to be able to go ahead and log in whenever you feel like it, and you'll be able to I want to make sure that you guys get the link. I'm just putting it in the group again, in the group chat, so you can check the chat to get the link for the course. And I just want to know if you guys have any specific questions. So you can let me know right now. If you have any specific questions, you can raise your hand, or you can post a question in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Another question that people often ask is, how long will it take? How long will it take for you to go through the course? Well, actually, it'll take you about 3 weeks to get to everything. If you are really serious about podcasting and you get your equipment and you go through the material, you can have your first episode and your podcast done in 3 weeks, because we go over your artwork and how to get your artwork done and the format your artwork needs to be, the specifications. I also show you software like Canva, what I'm using tonight, and you can discover how you can create your own artwork. You don't necessarily have to hire a professional for that. I encourage you to even go and look at iTunes and look in some of the categories that you may be interested in. And one of the things that you might want to do is look at some of the podcast cover art and see how some people have taken and invested a lot in podcast cover art, and some people have not. And I can tell you right now that your podcast cover art is not going to be the deal breaker. It's not going to make or break your podcast. It's really the work that you do in promoting it and producing it. The one thing that I can say for sure is that if you want a lot of downloads and you want a lot of subscribers, just keep podcasting. The more podcast episodes you have, the more you will get downloads, the more you will get ratings and reviews, and the more you'll get subscribers. If you are true to your audience and consistent, you will definitely continue to grow. So are there any other questions that you guys may have? Any questions? Any other comments? So it doesn't look like I see any questions or any other comments. So I'm just going to say that I hope that you decide to check out the course. I hope that you guys decide to get started. I would love to work with you. I would love to see your success. I want to be able to celebrate your success. And we will have another live webinar in a couple of weeks. But I'm really excited about this, and I'm truly looking forward to welcoming you all in the course. And I just want to say, whether you choose to work with me or not, I truly wish you the best, and I truly wish you happy podcasting. So you guys take care, and I will talk to you guys very soon. And if I didn't get any of your questions answered and you feel like you've had something, any questions that come up afterwards, and you want to reach out to me, feel free to reach out to me via email at tonycolemanbrown@gmail.com. Otherwise, take care and have a great rest of the evening. Good night, everybody.